Now,
Charlie to Hongsan. I am taking a
this is the Radio 4 afternoon play about violent Americans. Why? One used to be able to learn from Radio 4 afternoon plays. Right, then this is just short as BS. Like, disgust. Now, if someone had said to me, let's just be crystal clear. My health is absolutely superb. The last few mornings, last few weeks, my poo, which I do in a very specific place, behind a lot of thickets there that no one could conceivably go to. My poo is as firmer than it's ever been. If your poo is firm, you know your system is great. Anyway, if someone had said to me 6 months ago, and this is less about money, and it's actually about saving time, that I could drink a cold soup, even I would have gone, almost all food that comes from the supermarket, with a few obvious exceptions, is perfectly usable cold. This doesn't have to be heated up for any kind of safety reasons, and it's absolutely a totally practical thing because I've been at it, as I usually am, since 5:30 in the morning, using tons of energy, and I haven't got the time. Obviously simple living, well, there are two modes. Perhaps the majority of people would be in the first mode. Simple living to give them more time to rest and take life easy. And that's good. The rat race, the running around, it's all just become absurd over the last 20, 30 years. But then the simple living, such that one has time to do things, perhaps complicated things, perhaps hard things. I have one mission in mind. I don't think I'm going to stop thinking about it. Just one. It's going to take time. So, train yourself. Such that you can live in a simple mode. Saves time. I'm saving time. That's why I'm having this. I would have normally saved it for a moment when, of course, if it's really cold, then a warm soup will cheer you up. I don't actually know if it technically warms you, but no, today, in a hurry, quickest way of getting a bit of nutrition and some calories. And the greatest, I mean, if you're a man, and women could do the same, and I don't want to get into gender politics ever. If you're a man, the number one key, I think when you're passing about 50, to simple living, is just train. I mean, most towns and cities you go to now, they've closed their public toilets. Pubs have closed down, cafes are a bit sniffier. Train yourself to use a pee bottle. My God, when I a few years ago, I had a wonderful, so liberating viral, bacterial, serious problem going on for a few years. From 2015, 16, 17. I have brilliant health. But these things happen. And during that period, for a while, I had a bladder infection. There's nothing worse. But then there's nothing better. You see, black swan, what a perfect black swan. Once you've got used to the notion, okay, at that particular time, I was largely I wasn't able to work. But once you've got used to the notion that your bladder's going to go wrong and you're going to end up having ammonia problems, i.e. smelly trousers. That is the most wonderful black swan event to have crossed. It's not a big deal anymore. Anyway, during that period, because I had to sometimes pee 50 times in the morning, if I had to go out driving, or even going out, getting the bus somewhere, I got into the habit of taking a pee bottle with me. And it's the most useful, simple living thing I've ever done. Because once a switch is switched in your head, it's no big deal. Put my dick in there. Now obviously I can go and pee in the woods here. But if I'm driving around, if I'm going to a city, a town, I can just put my pee bottle in my bag. God, the time and the angst that it saves. That kind of angst. And as you're getting a bit older, you're peeing more often. Like, you can feel your bladder's filling up. Oh my God, I've got to go to that appointment there. Got to go there then. And the parking's running out. Oh, the nearest toilet's 8 minutes walk up that way. If you've got your pee bottle, you can always find somewhere where you're not going to get done for flashing, believe me. And pee in your bottle, then find a drain and put it down the drain. It is such a true, simple life liberation. Once you've crossed that Rubicon, but we're not allowed to use big words. Once you've just allowed, or once that change has by circumstances forced its way into your life, as was the case when I had my few years bug. I mean, it was pretty serious, but it has saved me so much angst. 2018 early, it left me only because I was doing 50 miles a week in the hills and my own immune system clicked it. Medical science couldn't find it, and it was real. But the most incredible silver lining I was left with, which is a habit there. I don't always take a pee bottle with me. That would be absurd, but getting used to the idea, I don't have to get out of here at night. I just pee in my pee bottle. It's wonderful. There's no disgust, there's no shame. It's it's more than a liberation. It's a relaxation. It's a breaking through one of our many absurd neuroses. Of course we have to be careful with our feces in respect of other people. Of course we do, but there are ways. There are ways of breaking through. There are solutions. In such a way that you're not compromising anybody else's existence, and your own life becomes so much simpler and stress-free. And I have to say, time-saving. So I've got time to do more important things in the community, in society, etc. Now, one thing I don't have time for ever is editing videos, ever, whilst I'm in this mode of living. So I just have to chuck stuff online, and I will never ever be asking in any way. I don't even like this Patreon model. I did at first, thinking about it. I've never sought money online, ever. But if I'm to get funded, it has to be in a pure way. It has to be that I actually meet somebody face to face who has a friendship and relationship and says, I'm going to put a little bit into your project, which has been many years in the back of my mind. I've sort of started it a few times on other sites and fizzled out, but this time I'm inspired by one person, even if I never encounter them in any way again. Because I know deep down there's a core in this person where they're the same about all of this. I mean, there's been a van park there this morning, a travelling van with two guys. Oh, I've been living in vans for 26 years. But they want all the stuff. They want a load of it. They want a big van, and he's doing his van out for future roaming and living in it. He's just come in from Europe, but he's a Britisher. I'm going to I mean, it's all showing off. It's all like, well, I'm going to convert it to this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You don't need anything. You do not need anything. You need a couple of blankets and a bit of foam. And I've lived in the Carlton Cannes in France, one of the poshest hotels in the world. I don't have any inherited money, by the way. I have not had that for 25 years. Any finance coming into me from any family member or anything like that, ever. Nothing. And I've been a single parent for essentially, I'd say 15 years. I had to be a carer for somebody for 3 years, without any extras financially. So I am as poor as possible. I wouldn't have it any other way. I know I have the richest and fullest life of anybody I know. There we go.